So what to make of the concerns in the previous video? Is Barth's commentary merely an interesting theological fossil, much as, say, that mad stuff about babies in Augustine's Confessions? Well, the short answer is no, so let me elaborate. Although I won't now give a full account or defence of Barth's exegetical practices, some things do need to be said. More than that, the New Testament Guild needs to learn a thing or two from Barth's commentary. As I shall argue, the conversation that should continue to take place between Barth-inspired theology and the New Testament Guild has enormous potential for all involved. In what follows, I will discuss matters under three overlapping headings: matters of style, matters of exegesis, and then wider themes. And this will lead me to showcase how Barth sets a challenge to New Testament scholarship, before noting remaining critical concerns. So first to matters of style. One line of defence that has been marshalled against charges that Barth ignores the task of justifying his decisions on lexical and grammatical questions, establishment of pericopes and so on, is to say that Barth simply didn't show his homework, and I'm taking this from Beverly Gaventa. Some might turn to the first edition of the Romans commentary and see a little bit more of these usual features of a commentary, but even this is redacted in the second edition, left behind the scene to make room for the presentation of the, quote, word in the words, to echo Barth's preface to the second edition. Perhaps this means that Barth wasn't uninterested in these matters, it had already been published. And even in the second edition, Barth is keen to show his reasoning vis-a-vis text-critical issues. Some of his decisions may be poor, but that doesn't disqualify the commentary as such. Barth simply had different goals, and thus an alternative style, as has been pointed out. Certainly, if I were to submit a commentary riddled with us, we, you, and so on, I would be laughed out of the Society of Biblical Literature and directed either to the AAR or to a publishing house that deals with devotional, not academic, literature. But the fact remains that Barth's language corresponds closely with Paul's letter. The Spirit bears witness with our spirit. Our bodies will be redeemed. Each of us must please our neighbour. We are debtors not to the flesh. We cry, Abba, Father, and so on. We stray beyond matters of mere style here, but to claim to set ourselves aloof from this kind of personal involvement is more than an innocent attempt to seek objectivity. Barth would indeed add that this kind of goal, this autonomous observer, is the definition of rebellion. Quote, "There is no department of human life outside the realm of this crisis, and indeed, Christ is the occasion by which men are enabled to apprehend themselves as existentially free." From the human side, quote, "There is no objective observation of the truth, for its objectivity is that by which we are observed before ever we have observed anything at all." So such attempts to stand with disinterest beside the subject matter, looking for cute parallels, illustrating textual dependence and so on, are peas puffed out of a pea shooter, to quote Barth. It is the definition of the fall. They are acts of the flesh. It is sinful. So Barth's use of personal pronouns follows Paul's lead and resists the fantasy of disinterested objectivity. Besides which, and as Roland Barthes sought to show in his essay The Discourse of History, the Rankian foundation upon which are built towers of biblical scholarship deceives itself by deploying the objective person shifter. It merely pretends to have hidden its ideological foundation, utilising this method. This critique of objectivity is readily accepted by historiographers, so there is no need, and I'm talking about Barth's critique, so there is no need a priori to prefer the tradition of my own biblical scholarship. And if one cannot imagine a good commentary that was forthright with its partiality, I would suggest a little bit more Gadamer for breakfast, for it is throughout traditions that understanding can take place, not apart from them. Paul was partial. The gospel is personal. so I dare not criticise Barth for these matters of style. Instead, sometimes I worry about the tradition of biblical studies in which I stand. And this is why Barth's sermonic tone need not be dismissed either. Yes, Barth's dialogue partners do mean that this is an odd commentary, by modern standards, but we must remember that Barth wrote these commentaries without a doctorate as a pastor in Saffronville. He didn't even want to get these things published initially. Apart from that, and for much of church history, from the fathers and mothers to the Reformation, theology was written as sermon, as prayer. Barth stands in an older tradition than my own. Now, I do not want to spurn contemporary biblical commentary, but one cannot dismiss Barth's work as commentary based on these stylistic factors. Nor does this imply that we can now all go on a subjectivity free-for-all. The point, as Barth articulated, was to see the word in the words, and one wonders which model better serves this end. In the next video, I will turn to stand with Barth by looking at matters of exegesis, before in the final video looking at wider themes and what Barth might teach the New Testament Guild in particular. So I'm going to split up this engagement with Barth, standing with Barth, into 3 shorter videos.